Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, Hotep. I'm your brother in the struggle, Brother Ministeralif Allah. And today we're going to pick up where we left off on this Annunaki, to me, spookism. You know what I mean? But I don't want to call it spookism because the Annunaki is a true science and true historical culture if we put it in its proper perspective, if you will. All right. So let's get into this here. Now, I mean, let's look at one of the oldest and greatest cultures of antiquity. Now, I'm a minister of the Nation of Islam, so I could use quotes from Messenger Elijah Muhammad, the Bible, and the Quran, but unfortunately, black people think that the white man's ice is colder. Now, I mean, like, if you freeze some ice at 32 degrees, they look at it like, oh, your ice can't be as good as this ice because it came from Massa. You know what I mean? So that mythos of white world supremacy is still in our people. You know what I mean? The spookism, the superstition, the guesswork, the plagiarism, the 10% rich slave makers of the poor are constantly milking you because they know that they could play on your ignorance, sad to say. All right. Now, let's pick up where we left off on this Annunaki stuff. I mean, short version. The Annunaki is not from another planet. If you was to take and look at the science of it, like, look, not my personal opinion, I'm just saying, like, let's look at what the scientists, the scholars, the anthropologists, the historians, just look at the white and black and brown and yellow and red, everybody that actually study it from an objective position, what they have to say about it. None of them concludes that it's a 12th planet with some gold dust around it and it's invisible and all this other crap. Now, I mean, what it's really talking about is an ancient civilization, a black civilization, in my opinion, that had knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, technology that we simply don't have in this day and time. I want to take you to something in the Holy Quran, Surah 18, ayats 92 is flexible. Let's go from 92 to like 97. All right. No, we're gonna go before that. Let's go from, because I want to put it in context. So even though this part is not really necessary, I want to give you this part of it so that you can get it in context. Now, this is the Kitab, or the Holy Book, the Holy Quran. Now, before I read this, I want you to understand Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings on the Holy Quran. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches the FOI and MGT. I know a lot of FOIs and MGTs don't rock with the Messenger's original divine and direct teachings. They rock and roll with whatever ministers, captains, and secretaries say. All right, my position is these hadiths are going to destroy the proper understanding of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I'm a minister. I've been a minister for 40 years. Blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. You have no idea of the service and sacrifice that me and others have been through to make sure that Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings remain pure and reach your ears. Now, I mean, I've seen with my naked eye FOIs that physically lose lives, take lives, to make sure that these teachings remain pure. It's sad and it's really heartbreaking to see so many of our beloved brothers and sisters get spooked out. Now, I mean, it's really tragic. You know what I mean? You know, it's like people take hadiths, ministers, captains, and secretaries' words over the divine and direct teachers of Messenger Elijah. Just last night, I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, just doing, you know, my little research. 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock is what they consider a guard's weakest point. I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning, all right? 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking at one of Muhammad Ali's ex-wives explain, short version. She basically saying that this brother, Abdullah, was Master Fard Muhammad. One thing I would never do is disrespect the believer. But I want you to understand that Islam is mathematics. So I, you know, just looking at the math, I was like, here's the chronology. Here are the wives of Muhammad Ali. Here are the children of Muhammad Ali. Know what I mean? Now, in the picture is Muhammad Ali's, one of his wives, so-called picture of Master Fard Muhammad, his biological daughter, and his adopted daughter. But when you look at the math, if it was true that this man was Master Fard Muhammad, and this is supposed to happen after the divorce of Muhammad Ali, whatever, the grown, beautiful MGT that we're looking at would have to be a maximum of 5 years old. Mathematics don't lie, family. You know what I mean? That man was not Master Fard Muhammad. It's this pathetic how these hadiths are coming into the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know what I mean? It's sad because I know for a fact 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 years in the future, it would literally have you spooked out your mind. You would literally have no idea what the messenger of Allah actually taught. Know what I mean? But I'm going to bang these raw teachings to you and quote the sources so that you'll understand. Real simple. The messenger thing is clear. The black man is God, period. Forget the Sunni crap that you see all these brothers and sisters bringing into the nation of Islam. Now I mean, I had a call from a good brother, a God brother, now I mean, whom I love and respect, and he was basically asking me about. He's like, "Oh, man, what, you know, did the messenger teach us about Jumar?" You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, the messenger in 1957, the messenger taught about Jumar. 1965, message to the black man in America. He speaks about section on Islam and prayer. He teaches on Jumar. Did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad hold Jumar in 1930? No. Did he hold Jumar in 1940? No. What about 1950? No. 1960? No. 1970? No. Did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach us that it's okay for some of his followers to Ramadan with the Orthodox Muslim? Yes. Did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Ramadan with the Orthodox Muslims? Hell no. Did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad make pilgrimage to the holy city Mecca? Yes. Did he go over there and run around the Black Stone? Yes. And what did he conclude? He said, listen, when I kissed the Black Stone, I had to smile and laugh within myself because I knew I was kissing myself. The Black Stone is symbolic to the black. He did not ever teach us anything spooky. Master Fard Muhammad is supreme of law. The black man in America and around the world are the gods. Period. There is no mystery God. You could want to link yourself up with Imam Wafdi Muhammad. That brother was the Antichrist to Master Fard Muhammad. Master Fard Muhammad is the Christ or the crusher of falsehood. Imam Wafdi Muhammad always explained to the messenger, I don't believe this. And the messenger position was, I don't believe in you if you don't believe in him. The messenger put him out of the nation of Islam. But he took over the nation of Islam. Not because he had some supreme wisdom, but because his brother had some money. He had some brothers with some weapons. Know what I mean? And they scared everybody. Everybody, oh, I wasn't scared. They were scared to death. Brother Minister Jeremiah Shabazz from Philadelphia personally told me to my face. He physically sat in front of my, he said, Brother Minister, listen. Them brothers was pussies. I ain't paraphrasing. I'm quoting him. He said, them brothers was pussies. He said, Imam Wafdi Muhammad and them, man, they had everybody go in that vestibule and you had a choice. you was going to submit, or you wasn't coming out there. They was going to execute you in the vestibule. I'm not saying Jeremiah Shabazz was some holy, perfect dude. None of that. I mean, like anybody, he had his flaws. But he was a sincere follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I mean, he went where the money went. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, I mean, he was the minister of Temple number 12, which became Mosque number 12 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I mean? And I personally rock with him because he rocked with me. You know what I mean? But this Annunaki nonsense is just getting out of hand. This is why we're consciously, intentionally reminding the FOI and MGT what it is that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. Because it's like this spooky stuff, this fictional pseudoscience stuff is starting to creep into the Nation of Islam itself. Now, there are countless so-called scholars and scientists, pseudoscientists, that uses the 10% rich slave makers of the poor teachers to try to mislead you into believing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teachings are not true. All right. Now, one of the great fallacies is that, in fact, let me pull this book out, because this so-called wannabe Negro, there you go, right here. All right. This is The Messenger, the Rise and Fall of Elijah Muhammad. I try to give credit where credit is due. Real slanderous book, but even though it's a slanderous book, I definitely give him credit because he did a lot of good research, but he was poisoned in his mind. You know what I mean? His editors and all, they trying to sell a book. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I mean? But the Carl Evans. In fact, I think I remember years ago he was on, I don't know if it was a C-SPAN or something like that. The brothers tried to touch him. But he's getting $42 per book. Publishers get that cut, the 10%, he get his cut. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? But in this book, this so-called scholar basically explains that there is no such thing as a tribe of Shabazz. He studied and went overseas and looked at it, and Elijah Muhammad and Master Muhammad is wrong about Shabazz. There is no such thing as Shabazz outside of the teachings of the Nation of Islam. And Malcolm X called himself Malik el-Shabazz, Shabazz meaning godly or godlike. And people literally believe anything they see online. I mean, they be like, it gotta be true. The white man published it. I mean, you know how it go. You know what I mean? But the reality, the hawk, the truth of the matter, the polar opposite of this nonsense makes perfect sense. Now, I could take you to old Muhammad Speaks. Those of you that have issues, I mean, I got all of Muhammad Speaks, but it's like I could show you where the messenger teaches about the tribe of Shabazz and Message to the Black Man, Theology of Time, Message to the Black Man, 1965, Theology of Time, 1972. His first book, The Supreme Wisdom, Volume 1, 1957. Even his last book, Outsiders Arrived, 1974. I'm not going to do that because our people is just 85% for the most part. Now, I mean, the 85% according to our lessons are those who are mentally dead, slaves from mental death and power. Those who are easy to lead in the wrong direction, but they're hard to lead in the right direction. All right? So what I'm going to do today, just for you, just because I love and appreciate our people, and my thing is I'm confident that in the end, the Black nation going to win. See, all of the divisions, the schisms, the hatred, the tricknology, all of the devil's nonsense is not going to hinder the will of Allah. Even though they playing real good, as the Holy Quran teaches us, the law is the best of planners. So the Black nation, we won before we started. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and show y'all what white folks say about the tribe of Shabazz. Now, I could go deeper, but I just want to give you, you always hear me, the messenger says to us in the greatest story ever told that when Sir John Hawkins came amongst the tribe of Shabazz, we had an all red flag. It wasn't this flag. See, a lot of spooky everyone, oh, the flag of Islam is the holy and greatest and only flag. No, they thinking like we always had the flag of Islam looking like this. The original Nation of Islam flag was all red. It didn't have a 5-pointed star with 72 degrees in each point. 72 times 5 equals 360. It didn't have the crescent moon. The crescent moon is exactly 180 degrees. 2 times 180 degrees equals exactly 360 degrees. It was an all red flag. Each point on the flag represents exactly 90 degrees. Why? 4 times 90 degrees equals 360 degrees. The gods building the cipher on the cipher. We are the cipher. We are the gods. Our women are the goddesses. Plain and simple. The messenger said, and I'll say as arrived, page number 26. Allah, the God, is all of us. It's not Masfar Muhammad. It's not the messenger. It's not Farrakhan. It's not Salas. It's not Ava. It's not Tanetta. It's all, Allah is all of us. Quote from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. See that God or goddess in the mirror. This teaching is not a new teaching. This is what we believed and taught for over 76 trillion years. This is what we're going to teach in the distant future. Now, let me take you. I'm gonna take. Let me log in first. I'm gonna take you to a well-known site that you can research your own, Wikipedia. You see that? You see that flag? Now look at the flag of Islam. You see this flag? You see that falcon? What's on top of his head? 360 degrees of knowledge. 360 degrees of wisdom. 360 degrees of understanding. Now, let me pull this up for y'all. Let me pull this up for y'all. So you can look at what the scientists, I'm not talking about blacks. I'm not talking about the messenger. I'm talking about the black scientists, what they teach. All right. Let me find this real quick. I was just looking at the best way to just hook this up so you can I want to put it in. There's a whole bunch of stuff on it, but I just want to put it, I want to make it plain for you, if you will. Be patient with me. I'm just trying to find the clearest, easiest way you can understand. All right, here you go. All right. Now, I'm showing it to you. You can look, don't take my word. You can look it up for yourself. Look up Shabazz, which means bird. I'm gonna quote something from Wikipedia. Shabazz, Persian, Shabazz, is the name of a fabled bird in Persian mythology. It is described as having a body similar to an eagle, being bigger in size than a hawk or falcon, and having inhabited an area within the Zagros, the Alborz, and the Caucasus. within Greater Iran or Ancient Persia. I'm adding the Ancient Persia. Ancient Persia. See, you get confused when you study in the antiquity. Basically, this was an ancient flag of a god man known as Cyrus the God. They call him King Cyrus or the God Cyrus. All right. You can look at this here. I'm going to read the bottom of it word for word for you. Standard of Cyrus the Great, there for Shabazz, founder of the Achaemenid Empire, featuring the Shabazz. See list of Iranian flags. Okay, short version. Islam, the Sunnis, as we're commonly known, in Arabia and the western part of the Muslim world, you have Persia, or the ancient Persians, or what we call today Iran. Notice, remember that guy called Ayatollah Khomeini. Now look at his theology. He, in the 80s, explained that America is the great shaitan. He considered the devil on earth to be America, Satan. Because they wanted to get the oil out the Persian Gulf and all. There's a lot of politics and all that stuff. But his belief system is what I'm trying to get you to understand. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that the Nation of Islam did not make up Shabazz. Shabazz existed thousands, millions, billions, trillions of years ago. All right? There was a black god man on earth known as Cyrus the Great that had an all red flag. Now, you know, I don't care how you word it. You had Usar or Cyrus, the black man god, or Set, Isis, the black woman goddess, and you had Heru, Horus, the hero, the godling, or the black god child, an ancient Kemetic or black Egyptian consciousness. Now, this kind of teaching, the Nation of Islam was founded July 4th on a Friday, Jumu'ah, by Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever, the Supreme Allah. And he gave to us this flag, which is the modern version of this flag. This flag was the flag of Shabazz. Now, this is not the original. The flags always change. Banners always change. Now, like the American flag that we had today, if you go 100, 200 years, they had 13 stars in a circle. They had all kind of flags, different stripes, red, white, and blue, the symbolism, the message that breaks all that science down. You know what I mean? But you also had the professor or the scientist that taught the science of those guys. Just like in this day and time, you had the angels of Allah teaching you, the raw teachers of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, but you don't want to hear this truth. You know what I mean? So Shabazz was a god, not in the sky, but Shabazz was a black man, just like the black man today or the black woman today in the male species. You know what I mean? There was nothing spooky with him or any of the gods. There was nothing spooky with Dr. Yaqub. There was nothing spooky with Master Fard Muhammad. There was nothing spooky with the Most High Elijah Muhammad. And this is why so people get twisted up and mortal ideas when it comes to these gods. Know what I mean? You know, but it's nothing spooky. Know what I mean? Now, let me turn your attention to the Holy Quran, Surah 18, or chapter 18, entitled The Cave. All right? We're going to quote something. The Nation of Islam, the messenger teaches us that Master Fard Muhammad first gave him a pure Arabiya or Arabic Quran, and he couldn't read it because he didn't know Arabic. He said he only recognized one letter, the letter Alif, the A. Then the master gave him what we call today a Yusuf Ali or Mulana Muhammad Ali Quran. And he explained that even though he gave him a Yusuf Ali, he said the best Quran as far as the English translation, you know, the closest we can get without all of the mistransliterations, misinterpretations, get you a Mulana Muhammad Ali Quran. shout out to our Pakistani Muslim, not brothers and sisters, in my opinion, our Muslim gods and goddesses. There's only alcoholic. There's only one creator. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. There's only one creator of all creation. We always believe that. But there's nothing spooky. Scientists call the creator energy. 4,000 religions call the creator whatever names they can come up with. Yahweh, Jehovah, Jesus, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, God of Gods, Allah, whatever. In Arabic is known as Al-Khaliq, or the Creator. In the nation of Islam, Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us the black man is God. But we as black gods still believe in one Creator of all creation. We believe in Al-Khaliq, meaning that we don't believe that Mustafa Muhammad, February 26, 1877, his physical brain brought the sun into manifestation. We believe that the mind of Mustafa Muhammad, the mind of you, the mind of everyone is infinite, capable of accomplishing anything that the brain can conceive. It makes perfect mathematical sense when it's properly explained and properly interpreted and properly analyzed and utilized. All right. So we're going to turn our attention to Surah 18, Dhul Qarnayn and Gog and Magog. The Holy Quran, I'm just quoting this verse because I want you to understand in antiquity, what type of technology did these people have? They had technology in antiquity that they could build an iron gate between two mountains, and they can cover it with like lead and put this sticky tarp. Well, in this day and time, how back in the day, my grandma, she used to take and put up a fly trap. She'll put it up on the light and pull the thing down, and the stuff was all sticky. So when flies come in the kitchen, they stick to this joint. They can't get off, and they can't get on your food and spread germs. Know what I mean? Our ancient ancestors built a gate of iron between two mountains that was a giant fly trap. When soldiers go, oh, and they try to get in, as soon as they touch it, they're there for eternity until they die. Their bones appeal. They'll get stuck to it. They're like, oh, what is this? This is the trap house of the gods. Now we got trap houses in the hood. In antiquity, they used to build trap houses. The police run up in that, they stuck all on the joint. Looking stupid. They looking young. So the Holy Quran teaches us this. Let me give you some backdrop from the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran says, Dhul Qarnayn and Gog and Magog. This is chapter 18, verse 83. Talking about King Cyrus, the same one that I just showed you. His flag was the flag of Shabazz, the godly or the godlike. All right? The Holy Quran says in the meaning, and I quote it, and they asked thee about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will recite to you an account. It's only not one. See, this is one thing you got to understand. History, history is not a science, family. It's not. It's simply just not. It's given to help you understand the world in which you live in. Everything you ever heard me teach on, all I'm doing is sharing with you the life-giving teachings of Elijah Muhammad and putting it in a perspective that is relevant to your life. Plain and simple, because that's what we're trying to do, is get you to understand the fundamentals, the principles of the thing, the essence of it. All right? And they asked thee about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will recite to you an account of him. This is the Holy Quran from Maulana Muhammad Ali. Truly, we, not I, not me, not you, not they, but we established him in the land and granted him means of access to everything. see, the white folks to tell y'all, the ancient Ankh was a machine. the ancient batteries of Babylon was the technology that taught them the arts and sciences of the universe. They had electricity and weapons and what we would call in this day and time communication systems or cell phones thousands and millions and billions and trillions of years ago. It's just that that technology gets lost because of wars. Now, I mean, because of natural disasters, countless other things. All right. Truly, we established him in the land and granted him means of access to everything. So he followed their course until when he reached the setting place of the sun, he found it going down into a black sea. I know y'all be like, y'all. Anytime y'all see the word black, y'all think it's a black sea. It's you know what I mean, you know. Let me read something to you about the footnotes. That the youth, this is footnote 1569, that the youth himself deserved death is abundantly clear. His inordinacy had now reached an extreme. The circumstances seem to have been known to Kadir, though not to Moses or Musa, though it was feared that his innocent parents would be involved in the trouble which must befall him as a result of his wrongdoing. Basically, Moses wanted to soldier with this supreme angel, Kadir, the green one, the one with life. You know what I mean? And it's an analogy to basically explain to FOIs and MGTs in this day and time. You'd be like, oh, I'm a supreme angel. I want to soldier with supreme angels. I don't think so. I mean, is you willing to suffer 15 years in the hole? If you willing to see death, is you willing to kill Bill and die for Muhammad? Most people say they are, but when confronted with it, they're not. When you're in front of the devil's courts, the parole boards, the police, are you willing to give all that you have and all in your power to see our people free? Most people like, man, I got kids, man. I'm trying to make some money. I'm just teaching this crap because I'm trying to get some likes. I'm trying to go viral. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? So a lot of brothers and sisters, they be on the tip like they ready for this, but they really not. And Moses thought he was ready, but he wasn't. You know what I mean? And the angel of Allah knew he wasn't ready. But out of love and patience and respect for his brother, he's like, all the mathematics is against you, Musa. But I got so much love and respect for you. If you want to try, I'm going to let you go ahead and try. But I think you're not going to pass the test, Surah 29, despite him. I don't think you're ready for this. You know what I mean? And most brothers and sisters, they are not ready for this. I mean, see, it's easy to say Dr. Khalid is going to do it. Minister Farrakhan is going to do it. John Bilal Muhammad ain't dead. He's going to come back and do it. Master Farrakhan Muhammad lived 400 years. He's coming back to do it. No, the 24 scientists going to... See, you're teaching that the white man is the devil. The message say, I will give all I have and all my power to see this day which I have waited 379. You're not really ready or willing to really go to war with the devil. I know. You're willing and ready to go to war with me. You're really willing and ready to go to war with the hood, your homies. But when it comes to the actual real devil, because the devil is the God of America. That thing is like, yo, we don't care if y'all got a protracted war, guerrilla war, overt, covert, cold war, whatever. We're saying we got everything ready to annihilate you. Do you have faith in your God to make you spark it? Hell to the no. Most 99.99% of black men and women in America, they waiting on the mother plane. They waiting on Messenger Elijah Muhammad to come back. The mother plane ain't going to come save none of them. Messenger Elijah Muhammad ain't coming to save none of them. I believe in Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad ain't coming back to save none of them. Now, you could be like, Ali, we disproved you because Master Muhammad came back and saved this brother or this sister. I said he's not coming back to save none of you. The messenger said you must become self-saviors. That means personal responsibility. You must be God. MGTs, nah, you don't need your man. You don't need a brother. You don't need Farrakhan, Salas, the minister, the cap. No, you are the goddess. If the brothers ain't going to step up, y'all got to step up. But are you willing to do that? The GCCs, the junior, if we ain't willing to do it, y'all got to take charge. The godlies got to do this. But I'm confident, 100% confident, that the devil will never defeat Allah, ever, in any shape, form, or fashion. Because those that have faith, those that have hope, they will cope. Let's look at this. Verse number 18, verse 85. So he followed the course until when he reached the setting place of the sun, he found it going down into a black sea. And found by it a people, we said, O Dulcarnain, either punish them or do them a benefit. Let me now turn your attention to Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings about one of these ancient gods of that region, Shinar, Babylon, Persia. This god was known as Nimrod, the rebel. He was a powerful, physically dark-skinned, powerful black man god. Evil as hell. A lot of people call him by countless names, Marduk, whatever you want to call him. But Nimrod, short version, the devil was sent to the Caucasus Mountains. They were exiled. We marched them across 2,200 miles of the Arabian Sea. These were not spooky angels. These were physically black men and women. They had swords and rifles. They had artillery, physical artillery, ancient guns in antiquity. And they stripped the devils of everything except the Arabic language. They still knew Arabic or the Arabia, but they lost the means of civilization in the Caucasus Mountains. And the 24 scientists, basically, they structured the cycle or the cipher where every 2,000 years a major prophet was born. But Nimrod came in and broke the cycle or the cipher of Moses, who was a half original man. And Nimrod, first you had Abraham. Abraham came to civilize some of these devils 500 years earlier. You know what I mean? Now Nimrod and Abraham, they had different objectives. Abraham was trying to teach white people civilization. So those white people that followed Prophet Abraham, they came out of the caves and hillsides of Europe. The 18th chapter, 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. The 18th surah of the Quran is called the cave. All right. And it teaches us that if you came to that cave before they got civilized and you seen them, you would be filled with awe. If you smelled them, you'd be like, oh my goodness. Ooh. You know what I mean? This was talking about Europe. Now, I mean, you means the hillsides, the rope is the rope to bind in, according to Master Muhammad. They were the common caves. Now, the original people had a certain disposition. Master Muhammad teaches us in the problem book that the original man was 6 feet 1 inch tall. I'm 6 feet 1 inch tall. And they weighed 150 pounds. Like 20 pounds overweight. I mean, I'm in America. And he explained that the common cavie, you know, they were shorter and heavier, if you will, stockier. And these people that were living in the caves and hillsides of Europe, these white people were not stupid people. They were not I mean, you got to understand, Yakub taught them the forgotten technology. All right. A lot of people look at it like white people put us in slavery and they're just evil, and that's true. But the other side of the coin is true too. I know you don't like hearing about this, but this is what the message teaches us. Before white people put us in slavery, we rounded white people up in Arabia and made them walk 2,200 miles across the Arabian desert and put them jokers in the caves and hillsides of Europe. And they had no guidance. Now, I mean, they fighting wild animals. They eating raw meat. They grew tails. They was having sex with dogs. Now, I mean, they lost all civilization until we raised up Prophet Musa. Now, Musa was the primary civilizer of the devils in the caves of Europe. But something happened to break the cipher. Nimrod. Nimrod came before Moses, 300 years before Moses or Musa. And Nimrod broke the cipher or the cycle of Moses. But Moses gets all the credit. But actually what really happened was before Nimrod, Abraham or Ibrahim, he came and civilized some Jews. Now these Jews that he civilized, the first ones to be civilized, they tried to live a righteous life. They followed the teachings and the example of Ibrahim. And the messenger teaches us in How to Live in 1967 and How to Live 1972, book 2, that the Muslims are actually closer to the Jews than they are to the Christians. I know. Listen. The pseudoscience, the misinterpretations, the confusion of the messenger teachings today have you thinking that the Nation of Islam hates Jews. That's not the message. I'm not telling you to listen to me. I'm not telling you to listen to the ministers, the captains. I'm saying look at what the messenger of Allah got. Look at what Master Muhammad taught. Master Muhammad was like this. My mama was a pure white Jewish woman. Civilized, made righteous, upright. She was the wife of a pure black Arab, because they can't produce fornication and adultery. Master Muhammad is the byproduct of a white Muslim, pure black man and a pure white Jewish woman. One from Arabia, one from the Caucasus Mountains, or Russia, as we would call it in this day and time. All right. The messenger himself teaches us that when he first met Master Muhammad, he ain't had no money. He ain't had no food to feed the Savior. And the Savior tuned in on and told, listen, go down to the Jewish store and the Jew going to look out for you. Not the Muslim, not the Christian. The Jews looked out for Messenger Elijah Muhammad, according to himself. He said that he went down to the Jewish store and told him, listen, I got a man visiting me from the East and I need some food, but I ain't got no money. The Jew told him, go ahead and get whatever you need, Elijah. And he said, I kept going and getting until, the Savior was able to eat. He fed God from this Jew. Think about that. Our Savior has arrived. The messenger teaches us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of ourselves. He said, Allah is all of us. How to Live 1967 and How to Live 1972, he teaches us that the Muslims can eat the Jews' food and the Jews can eat the Muslims' food. Basically, there's no difference between the Muslim halal diet and the Jewish kosher diet. The Orthodox Jews, that is. Not these pseudo fake Jews. The Jews that follow the laws of Moses, they were taught to eat fish on Friday. Muslims eat that fish, love that fish. Orthodox Jews don't eat pork. They don't eat the kind zer. The kind in the Holy Quran means I see, and zer means fowl. They don't eat the I see fowl because it has 3 worms. The round worm, the hookworm, and the tapeworm. The trichina worm. Tri means 3. The tri-state means 3 states. Trichina means 3 oriental or 3 easterly. 3 easterly worms. What are these 3 worms that's grafted? It's the round worm, the hookworm, and the tapeworm. Where do you find the roundworm, the hookworm, the tapeworm? In 3 animals, the rat, the cat, and the dog. This is the supreme angel science, family. It's nothing spooky. The messenger's message is all wise, right, and exact. If you humble yourself and just take heed to the messenger's message in this age of mess. So, Nimrod was a powerful black. See, Nimrod really is what we would call in this day and time a gangster, a god star. He was the one that really like told the wife, was listen, man, F Abraham, F Musa. Y'all got to come. See, he understood something that the righteous people didn't understand. His thing was like, no, listen, Dr. Yaqub Malik Shabazz. Yaqub means to change and keep on changing. Malik means master. Shabazz means godly or godlike. The purpose of white folks on earth was to challenge black people and make us show and prove that we're the gods and goddesses of the universe. That's a big challenge, family. I mean, that's a huge challenge. You know what I mean? So, this man that we know as Nimrod from the land of Shinar. Now, what is this land of Shinar? Shinar, basically, in this day and time, modern day times, we would consider Shinar like ancient Assyria, Mari, Akkad, Gutium, Babylonia, Sumer, Elam, basically the Far East, the same exact land as the so-called Annunaki. The Annunaki were simply black people that lived on the other side of the river. But the word other side of the river meant the foundation on the other side of the foundation. And because the people didn't understand that ancient language and culture, they misinterpreted, mistranslated, mistransliterated the word into meaning that these are people from a 12th planet instead of the foundation on the other side of the river. Okay? So there was nothing spooky about the Anunnaki's stomping grounds. Everything was real. I mean, you know, it's like as I explained to you yesterday, the bloodline. Now, I mean, the 12 bloodlines of the Anunnaki, Anu, and Antu simply meant the gods and goddesses. We call it the tribe of Shabazz in this day and time, or the assembly of the gods. But the first one is Anu, the god king. Then Antu, the goddess. Enlil, the son of God. Ninlil was the wife of Enlil. Then you had Enki, who was the oldest son of Anu. Then you had Ninki, who wasn't a spook or spirit, but that was Allah's daughter, or God's daughter. Then you had Nimgol, who was the basically daughter of Enki. Then you had Utu, who was basically the great grandson. Then you had Inanna, who was basically the great granddaughter. Then you had Adad, who was basically Anu's grandson. Then you had Nehursag, which was Anu's oldest daughter. And it simply wasn't nothing spooky with it whatsoever. It's just that our interpretations, our modern applications is what is spooky. Okay? So let me close out with a quote from Messenger Elijah Muhammad about the reality of God. You know what I mean? Let me quote him, because I like to give you the exact quotes about how Shabbats are the godly or how the gods operate. The messenger says this, quote, and I'm going to show it to you real quick. This is Outstairs arrived February 26, 1974. He says, and I quote, this is a day and time that you should know God. There are two on the scene at the present time, an evil God and a good God. When we say Allah, that name means God and covers all Muslims. Not some Muslims, not Master Muhammad, not the messenger, not Farrakhan, not Salas, not Father-in-law, not this God or that God. It covers all Muslims. Every Salam Allah, every God, every goddess, every black man, every black woman, every black child that has ever been on the face of the planet Earth, covered 196,940,000 square miles, is, was, and shall be the true living God. The messenger says, there are two on the scene at the present time, an evil God and a good God. When we say Allah, that name means God and covers all Muslims. All Muslims are Allahs, and we call the supreme Allah the supreme being. And he has a name of his own. This name is Fard Muhammad. So there you have it, family. Nothing spooky, nothing fancy, no ribbons put on it, none of that. No hype, just actual facts. Stuff that you can check into yourself. Know what I mean? It's talking about black people. It's talking about the higher and lower self. It's talking about our pure righteousness and our pure evil. It's talking about our good and our bad. It's talking about heaven and hell. It's talking about black and white. It's talking about the reality. Remember, only the messenger's message can guide you or me, we and us, through this age of mess. Salam Allah. That means peace God. Peace black God. It means peace black goddess. But it don't negate the Muslims of faith. Peace God.